What's up, YouTube? So, I wanted to come through and sort of clear up some misconceptions and some false information and some rumors, perhaps, in regards to my feelings and opinions about the collective of brown skin and dark skin black men. Alright? And also, before I even go any further, I just want to give a shout out to the brown skin and dark skin men who are subscribed to my channel, who post comments, and who support my channel, even if we don't see eye to eye. I'm truly thankful and appreciative of that. All right. Um, but before I, get into this video, really get into this video, I'm going to give a disclaimer. Okay. If you don't give a fuck about what I think, then stop watching this video and don't comment on this video. All right. I mean, it wouldn't make much sense if you didn't care, but you're watching the video and you're gonna make a comment on the video, right? So that's my disclaimer. All right. So first, do I hate brown skin and dark skin men? Hell no, no, never. All right. I do not hate, nor have I ever hated, nor will I ever hate the collective of brown skin and dark skin black men. You know? And for me, I don't really have a reason to. I don't really think I have a reason to. But I can understand why some brown skin and dark skin men may feel a little suspicious and, kind of like, you know, give a bit of a side eye, you know, when it comes to me, especially if they caught me out of context, right? If you caught me out of context and you just, walking, well, not walking, but, browsing around YouTube and run across one of my videos and you may hear me going in on some colors, brown skin, dark skin, black men, you may be like, oh, this nigga hates brown skin and dark skin black men. Oh, this nigga is, a waffle colorist, right? But nah, no. All right. No, and as well. The same with the light skin mixed and biracial women too. Like, nah. Um, no, there's no hate. There's no, you know, animosity or resentment or, nah. It's just me speaking on different issues that you're implicated in. There's a difference, right? It doesn't mean that you dislike somebody because you're speaking on issues that they're implicated in, right? Just, you may have sort of a disagreement with a family member. It doesn't mean that you dislike the family member, but you got to call it out, you know? Sort of like that. Because as far as I'm concerned, like, it's family. Like, you family to me. I may not be family to you, but, you family to me. So, that's kind of like where I'm coming from with it. But, if you know me well enough, and you're familiar with me well enough, man, then you know that, I don't mean no harm. Yeah, yeah, I know I don't mean no harm. I'm just speaking on issues in the community. And, some of y'all are just implicated in the issues, but it's okay, all right? We're going to work it out, all right? Let's see, what else? But for me, overall, I have nothing but love for my dark skinned, brown skinned brothers. There's no reason. Again, I don't really have a reason to hate. Like, why? Someone let me know, like, why should I hate brown skinned and dark skinned black men? But I will say that I think, like, the society and the system that we're in, white supremacy, sort of makes it easy to dislike, black people who are brown skin and dark skin, right, who really do represent blackness, right? I think the system does set it up to make it easy for you to do, participate in anti-blackness. I'll say that. But for me, I don't really think I'm participating in anti-blackness. I just think that I'm calling out anti, well, calling out colorism, you know, and other, BS in the community. And as well, for me personally, like in my life, I've actually had mostly good experiences with brown skin and dark skin men, you know, from whether it was with, like friends in my neighborhood, folks at school, family members, folks at church, um, folks on the job, especially. Um, Overall, I've had pretty great experiences, right? Actually, and really, like in actuality, as far as like friendships and stuff like that is concerned, I think probably those would be people who I would be considered to be like my buddies or my friends mostly. Uh, Oddly enough, you know, and as well people that I like low key tend to gravitate towards. So again, no hate, you know, no hate, no animosity, no, ain't nobody trying to come for you, not really, you know. Um, but I'll say what I say may be off-putting because I'll say that brown skin and dark skinned men in the black community are not used to hearing this type of rhetoric, especially coming from a like a light skinned man, a light skinned person, but especially a light skinned, well, really just a light skinned person in general. They're not really used to hearing this, right? Type of rhetoric directed at them, right? Because think about it. Go on YouTube or just anywhere, but let's say YouTube. Like, who's really, doing what I'm doing? Not like I'm some awesome, super spectacular YouTuber or something, but who's really speaking on exactly what I'm speaking on, right? Who's really naming names, right? At most, you'll get like folks calling out black men, but not like specifying the skin tone with it usually. Not a lot of folks, right? Not a lot, you know. In a way, it's almost like, how dare you? I think some people low key feel when it comes to this situation, like especially a light skinned man, how dare you, you know, call out the bullshit that some brown skinned and dark skinned black men engage in and perpetuate. It's like, stay in your lane, almost, as quiet as it's kept. It's sort of like that. Um, But I consider brown skin and dark skin people, both men and women, to be my people. You know, they may not claim me, but I claim them. All right, um, and I just to clear some things up, I do welcome brown skin and dark skin brothers to my channel, even if we don't agree, even if we don't see eye to eye. Like, you don't have to agree with me, you don't have to see eye to eye with me. You know, I do appreciate the input because it does give sort of a different perspective on some issues. And sometimes, you know, the brown skinned brothers who disagree have a point. Sometimes I have a point. Sometimes we both have a point. Sometimes we just agree to disagree, whatever it may be, you know? But, just don't be on some troll shit now. Don't get it twisted. That ain't an invitation to troll my ass. But that's the thing too. Sometimes I get these like weird, like I don't want to say dark skin trolls, but like these weird like trolls, like black male trolls who are brown and dark skinned for some reason, who kind of like low key troll my channel and say little slick shit. But you still watch my shit though, and you're still commenting on it. I just find that a little strange. I don't know if there's some sort of a mental issue, and I'll even say like I had someone like troll one of my live streams, and I usually don't get trolls on my live stream, but someone had low-key trolled my live stream. One of them, a brown, like a dark skin or brown skin black man, you know, coming through, you know, calling me racial slurs, a racial slur or two, and then, saying like, "Oh, I love your content." But I'm like, if you love my content, then why are you bashing me though? But he had a problem with me speaking on black issues, right? Because he felt like I shouldn't speak on black issues. Because to him, he didn't really view me as being a black person. So it's like, why are you speaking on issues that affect me and trying to represent me? So that sort of a thing, right? That whole like, you ain't a real nigga, right? You don't know the struggle of being a real nigga in this country. That sort of a thing, right? But I'll jump back to the light skin mixed biracial women for a second, and just say as far as they're concerned, because some of them kind of have a sort of an issue too. And I'll just say, like, I don't. Um, really, you think I hate or have something against like light skinned mixed and biracial women? Like, if I did, like, if I hated them, I would be hating myself. Honestly, come on. I just, you know, hold them responsible and hold them accountable. I think that's part of the problem where people low key feel some type of a way about being held accountable and being held responsible because let's be real, those two group of people, brown skinned men and dark skinned men, and mixed biracial light skinned women, tend to sort of be able to get away with things. And also people tend to not call them out, right? And usually when it comes to colorism complaints, people are used to brown skin and dark skin black women filing the colorism complaints. And they have this whole game that they run when it comes to brown skin and dark skin women filing colorism complaints, right? The whole gaslighting thing, having all this damn criteria that you have to meet to have your colorism complaint taken seriously, you know, we all know the game that they run, right? So if I come through and file the colorism complaint for them, then it sort of throws a wrench into their game that they run. It throws a wrench into the whole system that they have set up there, right? Because it's kind of the gaslighting tactics were geared towards brown skin and dark skinned women, not light skinned mixed biracial men. So they really don't make sense, like, oh, you're jealous, bitter, insecure. Even though low key, some people have sort of tried to push that shit on me. Uh, but it doesn't seem to work as well for some reason, right? I'm not saying that it doesn't ever happen and, that it's non-effective, but it doesn't seem to have the same effect, right? It doesn't seem to be as effective. And as well, to the brown skin and dark skin brothers out there, like, I've mentioned this before, but I'm like, well, how would you feel if I were bashing let's say if I was just like on some, Tommy Sotomayor-ish, right? And just bashing this black women, specifically brown skin and dark skin black women only. How would you feel about that? As a brown skin and dark skin man, I wouldn't say anything about brown skin and dark skin men. I would just bash brown skin and dark skin women. How would you feel about that? Would it just be everything's all good in the hood since you ain't mentioning me? Or would you feel like, hey, you don't talk about, the brown skin, dark skin sisters like that. You don't talk about my women like that, and it would be a bit weird for me to, hate brown skin and dark skin men, but, try to have some sort of advocacy for brown skin and dark skin women's colorism plight, right? It would be a bit weird and it'd be a bit suspicious. It's like, right? What's your motive? But I don't like. I like both groups of people. So there's no motive. As far as I'm concerned. And as well, let's clear this up when it comes to who I call out. Right? I come for brown skinned and dark skinned black men and mixed biracial light skinned women when they're doing wrong. All right. Don't just think that I'm coming for a dark skinned nigga just to come for a dark skinned nigga. No, nah. All right. Like folks just grouped up and just, oh, there's a dark skinned dude just minding his own business. Like, let's get him. Right? No, no. I come for folks, the light skinned chicks, mixed biracial ones, when they doing wrong. When you doing some fucked up shit. That's all. You know. And as well, I've, have had some moments where I've had to, low key kind of come for the brown skin, dark skin sisters, right? And also I've had some moments where some light skinned dudes kind of came for me. You know, you know, because there's some light skinned dudes who don't like me. And it's like, okay, why don't you like him? like, why don't you like me? um, and on the flip side, there, they're brown skin and dark skin brothers who, you know, are more down for me than some light skin mixed and biracial brothers. All right, so it doesn't always go by like skin tone, not always. Sometimes that's just it's just the way that things end up. You know. As well, it would be hypocritical for me to be colorist while speaking out against colorism, right? You know, wouldn't that just be like very hypocritical? You know, but if I really hated brown skin and dark skin men, and if I really had some sort of a deep seated issue with you guys, trust me, as much as I say on these videos, I do tend to hold back and not really go full force into it. Because one, I don't really have that animosity, believe it or not, towards you guys. Um, Also, two, people who I like who are brown skin and dark skin, both men and women, they could be caught in a crossfire by what I say and, feel some type of way about, what I say if I were to just, if I really did have hatred and just was just not holding back and just going full force in with it, you know. Um, Oddly enough, I had a subscriber, a dark-skinned black man. He asked me to do a video about basically what the community, the black community, would be like without dark-skinned black men, brown-skinned, dark-skinned black men. And I kind of was like a bit like I didn't do the video. I haven't made that video, and I don't plan to make that video actually. But we kind of had a bit of a back and forth about that. Not a negative back and forth, but just like a conversation where he kind of. I was just, letting him know that, that's not my goal. I'm not trying to purge the community of brown skin and dark skinned black men, right? I'm not trying to get rid of them, right? I actually think that would actually add to the problem, not take away from the problem, not alleviate the problem. Uh, and he said, he do agree, and he knows that I'm not on that type of shit. But he kind of wanted to see how that would play out when it came to people in the comment section and how they would react to it. If you know, I guess we're to present a scenario where brown skin and dark skinned men were phased out of the black community. Oddly enough, I do have a video where I talk about, if light-skinned, mixed, and biracial men were phased out of the black community. I got the idea from him, but just switched it around and did it with light-skinned, mixed, and biracial men instead. But I don't want to go on for too long. But I'll put the question out there, and just open up the conversation, open up the forum, so to say. Just say, if how do you feel? Like if you're also, I forgot to mention, but I do have, oddly enough, I do have like quite a few brown skinned and dark skinned black men who are subscribed to me, oddly enough. A bit surprising. Again, I'm appreciative, but a bit surprising, Um, but to put the question out there, like, what do you guys think? How do you guys feel? Is there something that you kind of want to clear up? Do you dislike light-skinned dudes? What's your relationship or your interaction? What's had been your experiences with light-skinned, mixed, and biracial men? How do you feel about me and the content that I make? Does it offend you? Do you find yourself agreeing with it? Do you find it, the content resonating with you in some sort of a way, negative or positively? Just, what are your thoughts? Especially, to everybody, but especially to the brown skin and dark skin brothers. What's your thoughts about this? Let me know. So again, as far as I'm concerned, ain't nothing but love, between us. It's family, you family. So, there ain't no beef. So, yeah, thanks for watching. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Until the next video, adios and goodbye for now.